Okay, first things first, I defrosted the last of my soup. I added some, maybe like 1/3 of my reserved ear of corn inside these two bowls here. I took out the liquid of the soup and I'm gonna thicken it up a little and flavor it up. And I'll come back to you. Okay, so in this pot I have all that liquid from the soup. I added some cornstarch. Gonna get that all blended in. I'm gonna add some of this cilantro salt that I made earlier in the week, just for a little herbiness and some green color. And I'm gonna add just a little sprig of sage that's outside of my yard, and cook this until it gets thick. Add it to that bowl of soup, and we'll see what I make with that. So it's come to a boil now, and you can really smell that sage infusing all that chicken stock in there. It smells delicious. So I'm gonna let this thicken up and I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so it's thickened up nicely. It's cooled off a little bit. It's still hot, so I'm gonna take out this the sage. Give it a quick taste. Oh, it's wonderful. It's this great sage infused chicken gravy. I'm gonna add a little pepper because I kind of like that little extra spice to it. And remember this earlier in the day, sour cream. I might add just a little. Use the whole thing just for some extra creaminess and tang. Just fill this up there. Okay, so I'm not quite sure exactly how this is going to work out, but I had this idea to freeze some of these butter spreads that I got. They're still real soft, but I'm trying to make a dough. So, got some butter spreads. What about, looks like 1/3 of a cup. I'll do 2/3. 2/3 cup flour. And then just fork it in there. So, this smells like buttery good, so I think this might actually work. So in this cup, I'm gonna add some ice water, a little bit at a time. No real actual measurement, so it's about, I don't know, 4 packages of butter spread, about 2/3, a little more of flour, and we got a dough. Oops. Sorry about that. Camera. I'm just going to work this real fast into a dough ball. Okay, so there we go. Just want to show you it's in some saran wrap. Put it in the refrigerator. Let it chill up and solidify a little bit, so we're almost ready. Okay, so our buttery dough's been sitting in the refrigerator for a little bit. So, it looks a little crusty. I don't know how this is going to come out, but hopefully it'll come out good. Oops. Alright. Looks really flaky and buttery. Alright, let's top that on top of the bowl. Gonna cut a little bit around it. I've actually never made a chicken pot pie, so this is my first. Let me take this extra dough, stick it to the side. Bring over that. Lay over this. Pinch it around the edges. Slice a couple of vents, I'm guessing. Okay, so 425-degree oven preheated. Put the pot pies in there. I'll check on them in about 8 minutes. It's been about 25-30 minutes. So let's take this out. See what we got. Oh. Looks like chicken pot pies to me. I'm gonna let this cool down for about 5 or 10 minutes before digging on in. So tonight, the experiment was a success. In fact, I think this might be one of my best meals all week long, so let's give it a taste. That cilantro salt really came in handy. You got the sweet crunch of the kernels of corn. You got the chicken. You got that wonderful sage permeating the whole thing. And you got this buttery, flaky pie crust topping. The gravy could have been a little bit thicker, but you won't hear no complaints from me tonight.